Hi, this is the video for Daf Kaf Daled of Masechet Megillah for Daf Shevui, page 24. I want to use this opportunity in this video to explain a rather difficult term that appears in the Mishnah. I'm just reading the Mishnah briefly for you. The Mishnah on Kaf Daled Amud Aleph, Hamaftir b'Navi, the one who does the maftir, does the haftorah from the prophets. Who pores al Shema? He pores, and we're going to explain what that term means, on the Shema. And what the meaning of the word pores is, and how the Kriyat Shema was recited in ancient synagogues in the time of the Mishnah and the Talmud, was a subject of a lot of debate among scholars. In fact, you could sort of do a who's who in Talmudic scholarship by looking at how the who said what on the interpretation of the word pores. So the old interpretation tied it into, this was already suggested by Elbogen, who was a German researcher about 150 years ago, and he suggested this tied into the way in which they recited Shema, which is described in some midrashim, that they recited it responsively, and there are various versions as to how this was done, and it connects in these midrashim to the idea that the Az Yashir, the Shirat Hayam, the Song of the Sea, was also recited responsively by Moses and the people of Israel when they were crossing the Sea of Reeds. And there are some opinions in those midrashim that say they did it the way that we do the Shema. The problem that a lot of people pointed out with that interpretation is that those midrashim never use the word pores al Shema. They just say the way that we read the Shema. So other interpreters, including Louis Finkelstein and Saul Lieberman from the Hebrew University, excuse me, not from Hebrew University, from Jewish Theological Seminary, tied the word pores al hashma, pores et hashma, to the issue of the recitation of Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto, and again tied it into this responsive reading. Now, more recently, a friend of mine, Aharon Amit, who wrote a commentary on the fourth chapter of Masechet Pesachim, where there are parallel sugiot, parallel passages, gave a new interpretation, which to me was much more convincing. Now, Masechet Pesachim talks about korchim et hashema, which comes from the word sandwich, that the people of Jericho, used to do. According to Amit, those two, pores and korech, are not opposites of each other. Rather, he reads pores in light of a Tosefta from the Megillah, which I'll read to you very quickly. One who pores al Shema, Vehamavarech al haperot, one who blesses produce, ve'al hamitzvot, one who blesses a mitzvah, harei lo yaneh achar atzmo amen. Shouldn't answer after himself amen, because when you say a bracha, you don't answer amen after your own bracha. That still remains a rule to this day. But you can see pores al Shema has to do with the brachot. And what Amit says is that pores al Shema is not the Shema itself, but is the recitation of the brachot. It has to do with pores, to spread out, to lay out in front of other people. That the pores al the Shema was the person who would recite the brachot. And there are stories in the Vayikra Rabbah, in Leviticus Rabbah, about a person being intelligent enough, knowledgeable enough to pores al Shema. And what that, you can easily see why somebody would have to have a lot of knowledge, lifros al Shema, because these are long brachot, intricate brachot. To know what brachot to say before and after the Shema would require a certain amount of knowledge. People did not daven from Sidurim back then. When you came to the Beit Knesset, everything, the whole thing, was memorized. So they needed to find a way for people to say it. The Shaliach Tzibor, right, the prayer leader, would do the brachot. Now, when it came to the Shema, that was recited responsively, the way that they did the Kriyat Shema. So again, to go over this, pores al Shema, according to Amit, means the recitation of the brachot for the Kriyat Shema, which would require a certain degree of expertise. The Shema itself was said responsively. The people of Jericho would hurry up through the Shema and not say it responsively, and that was either to the liking or the disliking of the sages. For that, you'll have to read the sugya in Psachim. Hopefully someday we will get to it with Daf Shevui.